Listen carefully. The next 90 days will pass whether you act or not. Nothing will stop time. Not your fear. Not your excuses. Not your lack of motivation. This audiobook is not here to inspire you. It is here to replace motivation with structure. To replace hope with rules. To replace waiting with action. For the next 90 days, you will not rely on how you feel. You will rely on what you do. And if you follow this challenge exactly, you will not recognize the person you are 3 months from now. This is not a promise. It is a process. And it starts now. Chapter 1. Motivation is a lie you've been sold. You've been told a story. A comfortable story. A convenient story. A dangerous story. You've been told that once you feel motivated, everything will change. That one day you'll wake up ready, focused, energized, disciplined. That story is a lie. Motivation is not the beginning of change. Motivation is the excuse for delay. Read that again in your mind. Motivation is the excuse for delay. You wait to feel like working. You wait to feel confident. You wait to feel inspired. And while you wait, time moves on without you. Here is the truth no one likes to hear. Motivation is emotional. Emotions are unstable. And unstable tools cannot build stable lives. Feelings rise. Feelings fall. Feelings disappear the moment things get uncomfortable. Discipline does not. That's the key. Discipline is mechanical. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait for permission. And that is why disciplined people always outperform motivated people. Not because they are special. Not because they are gifted. But because they act when others hesitate. Feelings are optional. Actions are mandatory. Say that again, slowly. Feelings are optional. Actions are mandatory. You have a choice. You can keep waiting to feel ready. Or you can decide that readiness is irrelevant. Most people never change because they are waiting for a feeling that never arrives. Let's talk about how this actually works in the real world. Look at an athlete. Not a highlight reel athlete. A real one. The kind who trains every day. They don't wake up motivated every morning. They wake up scheduled. Training happens whether they feel strong or weak. Focused or distracted. Happy or frustrated. Because the workout is not based on emotion. It's based on a rule. Soldiers don't wait to feel brave. They follow orders. Builders don't wait to feel inspired. They show up and lay bricks. And over time, the bricks stack. The strength builds. The results appear. Not because of motivation. Because of repetition. You don't rise to motivation. You sink to discipline. That's not a metaphor. That's biology. Your brain is wired to conserve energy. It resists discomfort. It prefers the familiar. Motivation feels good, but it fades fast. Discipline feels boring, but it lasts. And boring is powerful. You've been trained to chase excitement, to chase passion, to chase feeling. But transformation is not exciting. It is repetitive. It is showing up when nothing feels rewarding yet. You don't need their permission to live this way. Not your friends. Not your family. Not society. Most people around you are also waiting for motivation. And waiting together feels safe. But safe doesn't change anything. You have a choice. You can keep doing what feels good. Or you can start doing what works. It's not about laziness. It's about discipline. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Let's make this practical. Starting today, you stop asking yourself how you feel before acting. No more emotional check-ins. You do not ask, do I feel like studying? Do I feel like training? Do I feel like working? That question is removed. In its place, there is only one question. What is scheduled? That's the shift. When something is scheduled, it gets done. When something is optional, it gets delayed. Your emotions are not the boss anymore. Your calendar is. This is how discipline replaces weakness. You create rules. Then you follow them. Not sometimes. Not when convenient. Every time. You wake up at the same time. You work at the same time. You train at the same time. Not because you're motivated, because that's who you are now. Identity is built through behavior, not belief. You don't say, I am disciplined, and hope it becomes true. You act disciplined until it becomes obvious. Feelings catch up later. Always later. And this is where most people quit. They act for a few days. They don't feel different yet. So they stop. That's the trap. Discipline works quietly at first. It compounds in silence. You don't feel stronger immediately. You don't feel smarter immediately. You don't feel confident immediately. But you are becoming those things. You just can't feel it yet. That's why relying on feelings is fatal. You have a choice. Quit because you don't feel rewarded yet. Or continue because you understand the process. That's the key. Let's be very clear about what you must stop doing. You must stop romanticizing motivation. You must stop watching content just to feel inspired. You must stop waiting for the right mood. Motivation is entertainment. Discipline is construction. One makes you feel good for an hour. The other changes your life. Now let's talk about what you start doing. You start building non-negotiable actions. Repeatable. Not heroic goals. Daily rules. You don't say, I'll study when I have time. You say, I study from 7 to 8. You don't say, I'll work out when I feel energetic. You say, I train at 6, no discussion. You don't debate with yourself anymore. Debate drains energy. Rules conserve it. That's why discipline feels easier over time. You remove choice. And when choice disappears, consistency appears. This is not about being extreme. It's about being reliable. Reliable to yourself. Most people break promises to themselves daily. Then they wonder why they don't trust themselves. Discipline rebuilds self-trust. Every time you act without motivation, you send yourself a message. I can rely on me. That message changes everything. Confidence is not built by hype. It's built by kept promises. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you only act when you feel good, you are controlled by your weakest moments. Discipline puts you in control during those moments. You don't need to feel strong to act strong. You act strong until strength becomes normal. Feelings are optional. Actions are mandatory. This is the foundation of the 90 days challenge. For the next 90 days, you will not chase motivation. You will install structure. You will not wait. You will execute. Not perfectly, consistently. And when you miss a day, and you don't quit. You resume. That's discipline too. You have a choice. Stay addicted to feelings. Or commit to actions. One keeps you stuck. The other changes who you are. This chapter is not here to make you feel powerful. It's here to make you dependable. Because dependable people win. And now that you understand the lie of motivation, it's time to understand the framework that replaces it. You've stopped waiting. You've stopped negotiating. Now it's time to use time itself as your weapon. Chapter 2. The 90-day window that changes everything. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because their timelines are broken. They think in days. They think in years. They think in vague futures with no structure. And because of that, they drift. The human brain does not respond well to endless timelines. In the future, feels fake. Someday feels optional. But 90 days? 90 days is real. You can see it. You can measure it. You can commit to it. Short enough to commit. Long enough to transform. That's the key. 90 days removes the biggest excuse people hide behind. I'll start later. Later disappears when the window is tight. At the same time, 90 days is long enough to force adaptation. Your brain rewires through repetition, not intention. Habits don't change overnight. They change through exposure. Daily exposure. For long enough. That's why this window works. Not because it's magical. Because it's practical. You have a choice. Keep living in open-ended plans. Or step into a defined season of execution. Most people underestimate what they can do in 3 months. And they overestimate what they can do in a week. They sprint for 7 days. Then collapse. That's not discipline. That's impatience. 90 days trains patience. It teaches you to show up when novelty fades. When progress slows. When no one is clapping. That's where change actually happens. Let's break this down psychologically. Your brain resists permanent change. Forever feels threatening. It triggers fear. But 90 days feels survivable. You can endure almost anything for 90 days. You can focus. You can restrict. You can commit. That's why this window bypasses resistance. You're not saying, "This is my life forever." You're saying, "This is my life for 90 days." And that changes how you behave. Short enough to commit. Long enough to transform. Say it again. Short enough to commit. Long enough to transform. Now let's make this real. Think about physical training. If someone trains consistently for 90 days, not perfectly, consistently, strength changes. Endurance changes. Body composition changes. Not because of intensity, because of repetition. The same is true for studying. 90 days of focused study. 1 to 2 hours a day. No multitasking. No excuses. Knowledge compounds. Confidence builds. Results show up. And business? 90 days of daily focused output. Creating. Improving. Shipping. You don't feel successful yet, but momentum becomes undeniable. The difference isn't talent. It's time under tension. That's what 90 days creates. Time under tension. You stop asking, "Is this working yet?" And you start trusting the process. Most people quit at day 14. Not because nothing is happening, but because nothing is obvious yet. Discipline is believing in delayed results. That's the lesson. It's not about speed. It's about continuity. You don't need their permission to take 90 days seriously. Not your friends. Not your family. Not your environment. People will question you when you get consistent. Because your discipline exposes their comfort. Ignore it. You have a choice. Explain yourself. Or execute quietly. Now let's talk about what you must stop doing. You must stop resetting your goals every week. You must stop chasing new systems before the old one works. You must stop abandoning plans because they feel boring. Boredom is not a signal to quit. It's a signal that repetition has begun. That's the key. You must also stop measuring progress emotionally. How do I feel today? Is the wrong question. How many days did I show up? Is the right one. Numbers don't lie. Feelings do. Now, what do you start doing? You lock in a 90-day frame. Clear start date. Clear end date. No adjustments. No negotiations. During this window, you operate by rules. Same wake-up time. Same work blocks. Same training slots. You don't optimize. You don't experiment. You execute. Optimization comes after consistency. Most people reverse that order. They tweak instead of work. They plan instead of act. And they stay stuck. Discipline is simple. Not easy. Simple. Do the same right thing long enough. That's it. You don't need to feel confident about the 90 days. You just need to start day one. Confidence is earned through completion, not thought. Let's address a common lie. I'll go all in later when things calm down. Things don't calm down. Life doesn't create space. You take it. 90 days forces you to prioritize. It reveals what actually matters. When time is limited, excuses become obvious. You suddenly see how much energy you waste. How much time leaks out of distractions. How unfocused your days have been. That awareness alone is transformative. You start protecting your hours. And time is the real currency here. Not motivation. Not passion. You don't get more of it. You only get better at using it. That's why this challenge works. It creates urgency without panic. You're not rushing. You're committing. There's a difference. You don't sprint for 90 days. You march. Steady. Unemotional. Relentless. And here's the part most people miss. 90 days changes your identity. Not because of one big win, but because of accumulated evidence. Day after day, you show yourself proof. I do what I say. I don't quit early. I can handle discomfort. That evidence reshapes how you see yourself. Identity follows behavior. Boys, you have a choice. Live reactively, or live deliberately for 90 days. One keeps you average. The other rewrites your standards. It's not about intensity. It's about discipline. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Short enough to commit. Long enough to transform. By the end of this window, you won't be asking, "Can I do this?" You'll be asking, "What else am I capable of?" That's when momentum becomes dangerous, in a good way. But understand this. The 90 days only work if you stop treating them casually. This is not trying something out. This is a contract with yourself. You show up even when you're tired. Especially when you're tired. Because discipline practiced under fatigue is discipline that lasts. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You act inside imperfect ones. That's the real training. And when the 90 days end, you don't collapse. You upgrade. The standard becomes normal. But before that happens, you must remove the biggest obstacle to consistency. Decision fatigue. Too many choices kill execution. That's what we handle next. You've committed to the window. You've accepted the time frame. Now it's time to remove choice entirely. Chapter 3. Eliminate choice before it eliminates you. Most people don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they make too many decisions. Decision after decision. Small ones. Harmless ones. Until their willpower is gone. Willpower is not infinite. It drains. Quietly. Every choice costs energy. Every debate costs focus. Every "should I" steals momentum. By the time most people reach the work that matters, they are already exhausted. That's not a character flaw. That's psychology. Your brain is designed to conserve energy. When it senses too many decisions, it looks for shortcuts. Comfort. Avoidance. Distraction. That's why motivation disappears by midday. That's the key. Discipline does not come from trying harder. It comes from deciding less. You have a choice. You can keep negotiating with yourself every day. Or you can eliminate the negotiation entirely. High performers do not rely on willpower. They rely on systems. Systems don't ask how you feel. Systems execute. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. Say it again. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. Most people live inside vague intentions. I'll wake up earlier. I'll work out later. I'll focus more tomorrow. None of that is real. Real has a time. Real has a place. Real has a rule. Everything else is fantasy. Let's talk about fixed wake-up times. Not around. Not when possible. Just the same time. Every day. But because the first decision of the day sets the tone for every decision that follows. When you decide your wake-up time in advance, you remove the debate. No snooze negotiation. No muchit. The alarm rings. You stand up. Simple. Not easy. Simple. That one fixed decision saves you dozens later. That's how discipline compounds. Now look at fixed work blocks. Most people work reactively. They respond to messages. They drift between tasks. They confuse motion with progress. And at the end of the day, they feel busy, but empty. A fixed work block changes everything. Same start time. Same duration. Same purpose. During that block, nothing else exists. No scrolling. No checking. No distractions. Because the decision has already been made. You're not asking, what should I work on now? You already know. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. That's the key. Now let's talk about non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are actions that happen no matter what. Not when convenient. Not when inspired. No matter what. Training. Studying. Planning. But you don't decide whether to do them. You only decide when. And once the when is locked, the if disappears. That's how you eliminate choice. You don't need their permission to live this way. Not your coworkers. Not your friends. Not your family. People will call you rigid. Obsessed. Extreme. That's fine. Average lives require flexibility. Exceptional lives require structure. You have a choice. Protect your comfort. Or protect your future. Now let's talk about what you must stop doing. You must stop waking up without a plan. You must stop starting work without a clear block. You must stop letting your phone decide your focus. Every time you let the environment decide for you, you give up control. Discipline is control. Not control over others. Control over yourself. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Freedom does not come from unlimited choice. Freedom comes from fewer, better decisions. When everything is optional, nothing gets done. When something is non-negotiable, it gets respected. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. It's not about willpower. It's about discipline. Now let's talk about how to build this practically. You don't redesign your entire life overnight. That's how people fail. You lock in 3 things. Only 3. A fixed wake-up time. A fixed deep work block. A fixed daily discipline action. That's it. Everything else is flexible. Those 3 anchors stabilize your day. They reduce mental noise. They preserve energy. When the anchors are in place, everything else becomes easier. You stop asking, what should I do today? You start asking, how well did I execute? That shift is everything. Execution creates clarity, not thinking. Most people think too much because they act too little. Systems reverse that. Now let's talk about resistance. Resistance shows up when structure appears. Your mind will say, this is too rigid. I need freedom. I don't want to feel trapped. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is habit defending itself. Chaos feels free because it requires no commitment. Structure feels uncomfortable because it demands consistency. But discomfort is the entry fee for progress. That's the key. You don't eliminate choice to punish yourself. You eliminate choice to protect yourself. From procrastination. From distraction. From emotional decision-making. When your day is structured, your emotions lose their power. You don't need to feel focused to focus. You just follow the system. Feelings follow behavior, not the other way around. You have a choice. Trust your moods, or trust your systems. One is unpredictable. The other is reliable. Let's talk about why this works long-term. When decisions are removed, consistency increases. When consistency increases, identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You see yourself as someone who executes. That changes how you act everywhere else. You walk differently. You speak differently. You tolerate less nonsense, from yourself especially. And here's the quiet benefit no one talks about. Mental peace. When you know what you're doing and when you're doing it, your mind stops racing. No constant planning. No second guessing. Just action. That's what disciplined people feel. Not stress. Clarity. And clarity is addictive. Now let's be very clear. This is not about perfection. You will miss days. You will break structure sometimes. That's not failure. Failure is abandoning the system. Discipline means you return immediately. No drama. No guilt. You don't restart. You resume. That's discipline too. You have a choice. Turn a mistake into a collapse. Or turn it into a correction. High performers correct quickly. That's why they win. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. If it's real, it gets done. And if it gets done consistently, it changes who you are. This chapter removes chaos. The next one installs standards. You've eliminated unnecessary choice. You've reclaimed energy. Now it's time to decide what absolutely must happen. Every single day. Chapter 4. Build non-negotiables or stay average. Average lives are built on negotiation. Elite lives are built on decisions. Every day, most people wake up and bargain with themselves. They bargain about effort. They bargain about focus. They bargain about rest. And every bargain weakens them. Non-negotiables end the bargaining. A non-negotiable is simple. It is an action you perform every day. No debate. No delay. No exception. This gets done. Period. Say it again. This gets done. Period. Non-negotiables are not goals. Goals are wishes with deadlines. Non-negotiables are rules you live by. And rules shape identity. You have a choice. Live by how you feel. Or live by what you've decided. One creates inconsistency. The other creates results. Most people fail because everything in their life is optional. Optional work. Optional training. Optional focus. Optional sleep. Optional lives produce optional outcomes. That's the key. If something matters, it must become non-negotiable. Let's talk about why this works psychologically. Your brain seeks efficiency. It looks for patterns. When behavior repeats, the brain stops resisting. But when behavior is inconsistent, the brain fights every time. That's why starting feels hard. And continuing feels easier. Non-negotiables remove friction. You're not asking, should I do this today? You already answered that question once. And once is enough. This gets done. Period. Now let's get specific. The first non-negotiable is daily movement. Not intensity. Not perfection. Movement. Your body is not designed for negotiation. It is designed for use. Daily movement stabilizes energy. It regulates mood. It sharpens focus. When movement is optional, it disappears under stress. When it's non-negotiable, it becomes grounding. You don't need their permission to move daily. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation. You move because that's the rule. It's not about fitness. It's about discipline. That's the key. The second non-negotiable is focused work time. Not being busy. not multitasking. Focused work. A protected block where one task gets your full attention. No notifications. No interruptions. No excuses. This is where progress is made. Most people confuse hours with output. They sit all day and produce nothing. Focus beats time. And focus only survives when it's defended. So you defend it with a rule. This block happens daily. This gets done. Period. Now let's talk about learning time. If you are not learning, you are slowly falling behind. The world doesn't pause because you're comfortable. Learning compounds quietly. 10 minutes a day beats 0 hours forever. But learning that depends on mood will never last. So you lock it in. Same time. Same place. Same commitment. Reading. Studying. Practicing. Not to feel smart. To stay sharp. You have a choice. Consume entertainment. Or invest in growth. One numbs you. The other upgrades you. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. Now we address the most disrespected non-negotiable of all. Sleep. Most people treat sleep like a luxury. Something to enjoy when possible. That's backwards. Sleep is not rest. Sleep is preparation. When sleep is inconsistent, discipline collapses. Focus drops. Emotions spike. You can't outwork poor sleep. So bedtime becomes a rule. Wake time becomes a rule. Not perfect. Consistent. This gets done. Period. Let's pause here. Notice what these non-negotiables have in common. They are boring. They are repetitive. They are unglamorous. And they work. Average people avoid boredom. Elite people embrace it. That's the difference. You don't build a strong life through intensity spikes. You build it through reliable behavior. That's the key. Now let's talk about what you must stop doing. You must stop making everything negotiable. You must stop rewarding yourself for trying. You must stop letting mood dictate action. Trying is not discipline. Trying is optional. Doing is discipline. You must also stop adding too many non-negotiables. More is not better. Better is better. 3 to 5 daily rules is enough. When people add 10, they quit all 10. Discipline thrives in simplicity. Now let's talk about resistance. Resistance will appear the moment you install rules. Your mind will say, "This is too strict. I need flexibility. I'll burn out." That voice is fear, not wisdom. Burnout comes from chaos, not structure. Structure reduces stress. It creates certainty. When you know what must happen today, your mind relaxes. No constant decision-making. No internal arguments. Just execution. You don't need their permission to be structured. Not society. Not your peers. Not your past self. Most people will never understand discipline. Because discipline threatens comfort. Let them misunderstand. You have a choice. Seek approval. Or seek progress. Now here's the critical shift. Non-negotiables are not about control. They are about self-respect. Every time you follow a rule you set, you build trust with yourself. Every time you break one casually, you weaken that trust. Self-trust is confidence. Not hype. Not affirmations. Proof. And proof is built daily. This gets done. Period. Let's make this practical. Tonight, you choose your non-negotiables. Not tomorrow. Tonight. Write them down. Daily movement. Focused work block. Learning time. Sleep schedule. Start there. Do not adjust them daily. Do not renegotiate. Follow them through good days and bad. Especially bad days. Discipline practiced on bad days is what changes you. Anyone can act when life is easy. Few can act when it's heavy. That's where identity is forged. You have a choice. Be disciplined only when it's convenient. Or be disciplined when it matters. One keeps you average. The other elevates everything. And understand this. Non-negotiables do not limit your life. They free it. When the basics are handled automatically, your mind is free to create, build, and think clearly. Chaos steals energy. Structure returns it. That's the key. You are not becoming rigid. You are becoming reliable. Reliable people win. Now lock this in. If your daily actions are optional, your future is uncertain. If your daily actions are non-negotiable, your future is predictable. And predictable progress beats random bursts every time. You've eliminated choice. You've installed rules. Now there's one more force you must address. Because even strong rules collapse in the wrong environment. You've built the discipline. Now it's time to protect it. Chapter 5. Your environment is stronger than you. You've been taught to believe that success is about inner strength. That if you just try harder, you'll win. That belief feels empowering. It is also wrong. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Every time. That's not weakness. That's neuroscience. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It reacts to cues before logic even has time to speak. Which means this truth is unavoidable. If your environment is undisciplined, your behavior will eventually be undisciplined too. That's the key. Most people don't fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they live inside systems that constantly sabotage it. And then they blame themselves. You have a choice. Keep fighting your environment every day. Or redesign it once and let it work for you. Remove the trigger, remove the behavior. Say it again. Remove the trigger, remove the behavior. Let's talk about how this actually works. A trigger is anything that initiates an automatic response. A sound, a sight, a habit loop. Your phone buzzes. You reach for it. You sit at your desk. You open social media. You lie in bed. You scroll instead of sleeping. You didn't decide to do those things. Your environment decided for you. That's not a character flaw. That's conditioning. Discipline that relies on resisting constant triggers will eventually fail. That's why environment beats motivation. Every time. You don't need their permission to redesign your environment. Not your friends. Not your coworkers. Not your past habits. Most people protect comfort, not progress. You won't. You have a choice. Now let's talk about the most powerful environmental weapon in your life. Your phone. Your phone is not neutral. It is a trigger generator. Notifications. Colors. Infinite scroll. All designed to hijack attention. And attention is your most valuable resource. If your phone is always within reach, discipline is always under attack. So here is the rule. The phone does not live where work happens. Not on the desk. Not in your pocket. Not within arm's reach. Different room. Silent. Out of sight. Remove the trigger. Remove the behavior. That's the key. Next, app deletion. If an app consistently steals your time, it doesn't deserve negotiation. Delete it. Not later. But I might need it. You want it. There's a difference. Convenience is the enemy of discipline. If access is frictionless, consumption is inevitable. So you add friction. Log out. Delete. But not because you're weak. Because you're smart. It's not about self-control. It's about discipline. Now let's talk about your workspace. Your workspace should tell your brain one thing only. This is where I work. If your desk is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. If your desk is casual, your focus is casual. Remove distractions. Clear surfaces. One task visible. Your environment should guide behavior without words. When you sit down, there should be no decision to make. The decision was made earlier. That's the key. Visual cues matter more than motivation. What you see repeatedly shapes what you do repeatedly. If your room reminds you of comfort, you relax. If it reminds you of purpose, you focus. Change the cues. Change the behavior. Remove the trigger, remove the behavior. Now let's talk about something most people ignore. People. The environment isn't just physical. It's social. The people around you normalize certain behaviors. Complaining, procrastination, excuses. Those things spread quietly. If everyone around you treats discipline like punishment, you'll eventually see it that way too. You don't need their permission to protect your standards. That doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means limiting exposure during your build phase. You don't argue. You don't explain. You execute. You have a choice. Absorb the energy around you, or choose what you allow in. Now let's get practical. What must you stop doing? You must stop blaming yourself for predictable outcomes. You must stop relying on willpower in hostile environments. You must stop surrounding yourself with constant temptation. That's not strength. That's stubbornness. Discipline is strategic. What must you start doing? You start designing your day before it begins. You start placing tools where work happens. You start removing distractions before they become problems. You don't wait until you're tired to make decisions. You decide while you're clear. That's discipline. And discipline is not harsh. It's protective. Here's a truth that will save you years. The strongest people don't resist temptation. They avoid it. They don't fight the environment. They control it. That's the key. Let's talk about sleep environments. If your bed is an entertainment zone, sleep will always lose. No screens in bed. No scrolling. No exceptions. Quiet. Your environment should make the right behavior automatic. Same with food. Same with work. Same with training. You don't rely on being good. You rely on design. Remove the trigger, remove the behavior. Say it again. Remove the trigger, remove the behavior. Now let's address resistance. Your mind will say, "This is extreme. I should be able to control myself." That's ego talking. You don't get points for struggling unnecessarily. You get results for finishing. It's not about toughness. It's about discipline. You have a choice. Prove something to yourself, or build something for yourself. One feeds ego. The other builds outcomes. Environment design is not a one-time task. It's ongoing. Every week, ask one question. What is making discipline harder than it needs to be? Then remove it. One thing at a time. That's how systems evolve. And when systems improve, life simplifies. Less resistance. Less chaos. More execution. Now let's lock this in. If your environment stays the same, your habits will eventually return. No matter how motivated you feel today, motivation fades. Environment remains. That's why this chapter matters. You are not fixing behavior. You are fixing the conditions that create behavior. And once the conditions change, discipline stops feeling like a fight. It becomes normal. You don't need their permission to build a disciplined environment. You only need the courage to remove what's holding you back. You've built non-negotiables. You've eliminated choice. Now you've secured the battlefield. But there's one more challenge coming. Because once the environment is quiet, boredom shows up. And boredom is where most people quit. You've controlled the outside. Now it's time to master the internal reaction to repetition. Chapter 6. Boredom is the price of consistency. Most people don't quit because something is hard. They quit because something is boring. That truth is uncomfortable. And it explains almost everything. Progress is boring. Mastery is repetitive. Excellence is quiet. And boredom is the price you pay to access all of it. That's the key. You've been trained to seek stimulation, novelty, excitement, quick rewards. Your brain loves new. New feels alive. But new does not build skill. New does not build strength. New does not build discipline. Repetition does. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Say it again. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. You have a choice. Chase stimulation. Or commit to repetition. One feels good today. The other changes your future. Let's talk about why boredom feels so threatening. Boredom removes distraction. And when distraction disappears, you're left with effort. Effort without entertainment. That's where most people panic. They interpret boredom as a signal to stop. They assume something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. You're just no longer being entertained. That's the shift. Discipline begins where stimulation ends. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's not about excitement. It's about discipline. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Now let's make this real. Think about studying. The first few days feel productive. New material. Fresh energy. Then repetition begins. Same desk. Same books. Same process. And the mind says, this is boring. So people stop. Not because studying stopped working. Because stimulation stopped. The ones who continue don't feel special. They just accept boredom as part of the process. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. That's the key. Now look at fitness. The first week feels exciting. New routine. Soreness. Progress. Then the workouts repeat. Same movements. Same structure. And boredom creeps in. People start chasing novelty. New programs. New X. And they never stay long enough to adapt. Consistency beats variety. Every time. Skill building is no different. Playing an instrument. Learning a language. Developing a craft. The basics never change. Fills, reps, drills. They are boring. And they work. You don't need their permission to do boring work. Not society. Not your friends. Not your own impatience. You have a choice. Respect boredom as part of mastery. Or keep restarting at beginner level. Now let's talk about the psychology behind this. Your brain releases dopamine when something is new. When novelty disappears, dopamine drops. That drop feels like boredom. But boredom is not danger. It's adaptation. It means the activity is becoming familiar. And familiarity is required for mastery. If you quit every time boredom appears, you reset the process. You stay shallow. That's the trap. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Say it again. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Now let's get practical. What must you stop doing? You must stop confusing boredom with burnout. You must stop changing routines too quickly. You must stop chasing excitement to validate effort. Effort does not need entertainment. You must also stop adding noise to avoid boredom. Music, videos, constant stimulation. Sometimes, silence is required. Silence reveals focus. What must you start doing? You start treating boredom as a signal of progress. You start staying with routines past the novelty phase. You start measuring days completed, not feelings felt. That's discipline. You don't need to enjoy the process to respect it. Enjoyment comes later, after results. That's the order. Now let's address a lie that keeps people stuck. If I'm bored, this must not be right for me. That's nonsense. Boredom shows up in everything worth doing. The question isn't, am I bored? The question is, am I consistent? Consistency beats enthusiasm. Every time. You have a choice. Seek excitement or build endurance. One fades fast. The other compounds. Now let's talk about how to train boredom tolerance. You don't fight boredom. You sit with it. You let the urge to escape pass. You keep doing the work. This builds a rare skill. Focus without stimulation. That skill is worth everything. People who can focus without entertainment can outwork, outlearn, and outbuild everyone else. That's the key. And here's the irony. Once you accept boredom, work becomes peaceful. No emotional spikes. No drama. Just steady output. That's where confidence is built. Not hype confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you can stay. Stay when it's dull. Stay when it's slow. Stay when nothing exciting is happening yet. You don't need their permission to be patient. Patience is power. Now let's be very clear. This chapter is not telling you to be miserable. It's teaching you to stop demanding entertainment from discipline. Discipline is not a performance. It's a practice. And practices repeat. You don't expect variety from brushing your teeth. You don't expect excitement from sleeping. You respect them because they work. Your core habits deserve the same respect. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Lock that in. Now understand this. Most people never reach mastery because they quit during boredom. They leave right before the payoff. Results lag behind effort. Boys, boredom is the waiting room. Stay seated. You have a choice. Leave early and stay average. Or wait and upgrade your identity. That choice appears every day. Now let's prepare you for what comes next. Once you accept boredom, you stop chasing goals. You start building standards. And standards don't care about excitement. They care about consistency. You've learned to tolerate repetition. You've learned to stay when it's dull. Now it's time to aim higher. Not with wishes. With rules. You've paid the price of consistency. Now it's time to define what you live by. Chapter 7. You don't rise to goals, you sink to standards. Goals feel powerful. Standards are stronger. Goals excite you for a moment. Standards control you for a lifetime. That's the key. Most people live goal to goal. They set one. They feel motivated. They talk about it. And then life happens. The goal fades. The emotion fades. The behavior returns to normal. Because goals don't run your life. Standards do. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You sink to the level of your standards. Every time. You have a choice. Live inspired occasionally. Or live disciplined daily. One depends on emotion. The other depends on identity. Now listen carefully. Goals are external targets. Standards are internal rules. Goals say, I want to. Standards say, this is how I live now. That sentence matters. This is how I live now. Say it again. This is how I live now. When something becomes a standard, there is no debate, no negotiation, no waiting for motivation. You brush your teeth because it's a standard. You don't set a goal to brush your teeth. You show up to work because it's a standard. You don't need a vision board for it. Standards remove friction. That's why they work. Now let's break the illusion of goal chasing. People think goals fail because they lack willpower. That's not the real problem. The real problem is that their identity never changed. They tried to add a behavior without upgrading the standard underneath it. So the behavior collapsed. It's not about the goal. It's about discipline. It's not about ambition. It's about discipline. You don't need their permission to raise your standards. Not your family. Not your friends. Not your past. Standards are personal. Now let's make this practical. The goal says, I want to work out 3 times a week. The standard says, I train my body. Period. The goal says, I want to study more. The standard says, I study every day. This is how I live now. The goal says, I want to be disciplined. The standard says, I don't negotiate with excuses. Feel the difference. Goals hope. Standards decide. That's the key. Now let's talk about why standards feel uncomfortable at first. Standards expose inconsistency. When you raise a standard, you immediately notice when you violate it. That creates friction, guilt, resistance. Most people lower the standard to remove discomfort. Weak standards feel comfortable. Strong standards feel demanding. But demanding standards create strong identities. You have a choice. Protect comfort or build character. Character always wins long term. Now let's talk psychology. Your brain wants clarity. It wants rules. When standards are vague, your behavior becomes emotional. When standards are clear, your behavior becomes automatic. Automatic beats motivated. Every time. That's why people with strong standards look disciplined without effort. They're not stronger. They're clearer. They don't ask, should I do this? They already decided. This is how I live now. Say it again. This is how I live now. Now let's get specific. What must you stop doing? You must stop setting goals without standards. You must stop relying on motivation. You must stop allowing exceptions to become habits. Exceptions kill standards. You must also stop negotiating with your weaker self. Negotiation is where discipline dies. What must you start doing? You start defining minimum standards. Not perfect standards. Minimum standards. Non-negotiable behaviors you perform. Even on bad days. Especially on bad days. For example, you don't need a perfect workout. You need a standard for movement. You don't need perfect focus. You need a standard for showing up. You don't need intensity every day. You need consistency every day. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Standards protect consistency. That's the key. Now let's talk identity. When you live by standards long enough, they stop feeling forced. They become who you are. You don't say, I'm trying to be disciplined. You say, I'm disciplined. Not as an affirmation, as a fact. Because your behavior proves it. You don't rise to goals. You sink to standards. And here's something most people miss. Standards simplify life. Fewer decisions. Less stress. Less mental noise. When standards are clear, life gets quiet. Quiet is powerful. You don't need their permission to simplify. Now let's look at real-world examples. High performers don't constantly set new goals. They refine standards. They don't say, I'll work harder this month. They say, I start my day the same way every day. They don't chase motivation. They design rules. Rules beat feelings. That's discipline. Now let's address fear. Raising standards scares people because it removes escape routes. Once you say, this is how I live now, you lose excuses. And excuses feel safe. But safety is expensive. It costs potential. You have a choice. Keep excuses or keep progress. Now here's a critical distinction. Standards are not punishment. They are self-respect. Low standards signal low self-respect. High standards say, I take myself seriously. You don't need permission to take yourself seriously. That's the key. Now do this. Take one area of your life. Just one. Fitness. Study. And define one standard. Simple. Non-negotiable. Not dramatic. Something you can repeat daily. Then live it. not for a goal. For identity. This is how I live now. Say it until it becomes true. Now let's prepare you for the next shift. Once standards are set, something else must be controlled. Because standards collapse. When energy is unmanaged, you can have high standards and still burn out. Discipline without recovery breaks. You've learned to tolerate boredom. You've learned to set standards. Now it's time to protect your energy, like a professional. Because discipline needs fuel. You've stopped chasing goals. You've started building rules. Now it's time to master the system that sustains it all. Chapter 8. Cut the noise, double the focus. Focus is not a personality trait. It's a decision. A hard one. Repeated daily. Most people don't lack intelligence. They lack focus. And they hide that weakness behind a lie. Multitasking. Multitasking is not efficiency. It's disguised laziness. It's disguised fear. Fear of committing to one thing. Fear of doing the hard work deeply. Fear of finding out what you're really capable of. That's the key. When you split your attention, you dilute your results. One task done halfway is still unfinished. You have a choice. Scatter your attention and stay busy forever, or cut the noise and finally move forward. One task, one block, full attention. Say it again. One task, one block, full attention. Now let's get honest. Your brain is not built for constant switching. Every switch costs energy. Every notification steals momentum. You feel tired not because you work too hard, but because you work too scattered. That's not productivity. That's self-sabotage. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. And discipline begins with subtraction. You don't add focus. You remove distractions. Remove the noise. And focus returns naturally. That's the key. Now let's break the myth. People say, I work better under pressure. You panic better under pressure. Pressure doesn't create focus. Constraints do. Clear boundaries. Clear blocks. Clear priorities. Multitasking feels productive because it avoids discomfort. Deep focus is uncomfortable. It exposes resistance. It exposes weakness. That's why people avoid it. You don't need their permission to work deeply. Now let's talk psychology. Your brain seeks novelty. New tabs. New messages. New dopamine hits. Focus feels boring at first because your brain is addicted to stimulation. That doesn't mean focus is wrong. It means your brain is undisciplined. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Focus is trained, not found. And training requires rules. Now listen carefully. If everything is important, nothing gets done. If everything has your attention, nothing gets your best. You must choose. You have a choice. Be accessible or be effective. Effective people protect focus ruthlessly, not aggressively. Ruthlessly. Now let's make this real. What must you stop doing? You must stop checking your phone during focused work. You must stop mixing tasks. Email is not work. Notifications are not work. You must stop rewarding distraction. Every time you break focus and feel relief, you reinforce weakness. It's not about the phone. It's about discipline. What must you start doing? You start blocking time. Not vague time. Specific time. Deep work blocks. 30 minutes. 45 minutes. 90 minutes. One task. One block. Full attention. No switching. No background noise. No, just checking. That's the key. During a focus block, the outside world doesn't exist. Messages can wait. News can wait. Other people's urgency can wait. You don't need their permission to protect your attention. Now let's talk about learning. Most people study with distractions. Music, phone, tabs open. They think time equals progress. Wrong. Quality of attention beats quantity of hours. 30 minutes of deep focus beats 3 hours of distracted effort. Every time. That's why some people advance faster. With less time, they go deep. Others go wide. Wide work feels safe. Deep work creates results. Now let's address fear. Focus scares people because it removes excuses. If you focus deeply and still fail, you can't blame distractions. That's uncomfortable. So people multitask to protect their ego. But ego protection kills growth. You have a choice. Protect ego or build skill. Skill only comes from focus. Now let's talk environment. Focus doesn't survive chaos. You must design for it. Phone out of reach. Notifications off. Clean workspace. Visual noise matters. Your environment either supports focus or attacks it. Remove the trigger. Remove the behavior. That's the key. If your phone is visible, your attention is divided. If distractions are easy, discipline becomes hard. Make focus the default. Now let's talk about mental rules. Rule 1. No multitasking during focus blocks. Rule 2. Finish the block before checking anything. Rule 3. End the block intentionally. Stand up. Reset. Then switch. Boundaries matter. Without them, everything bleeds together. Work bleeds into rest. Rest bleeds into guilt. Focus fixes this. Now listen closely. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing fewer things better. Say it again. Fewer things. Better execution. That's how standards are lived. This is how I live now. Now let's connect this to discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay with discomfort. Focus forces discomfort. Your mind wanders. Your body resists. And you stay anyway. That's discipline. Not dramatic. Not loud. Quiet. Relentless. Consistent. You don't need their permission to work quietly. Now here's a warning. At first, focus will feel frustrating. You'll notice how scattered you are, how impatient, how restless. But that awareness is progress. Most people never see their weakness because they never remove distractions. Focus exposes truth. Truth builds strength. That's the key. Now let's give you a simple system. 1 to 3 focus blocks per day. That's it. Not 10. Not all day. Quality over quantity. Choose the hardest task first. Do it without distractions. End the block. Repeat tomorrow. Boring. Effective. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Now let's bring it home. Your life reflects what you pay attention to. If your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your attention is disciplined, your life becomes sharp. You don't rise to ambition. You sink to focus habits. You have a choice. Be noisy and busy, or quiet and effective. Now prepare for the next shift, because once you cut the noise, something else becomes obvious. Most of your energy leaks through unnecessary effort. Focus shows you where energy is wasted. And the next level of discipline is knowing when to stop. You've learned to protect attention. Now it's time to protect energy, because discipline without recovery turns into burnout. You've cut the noise. Now you must master restraint. Chapter 9. Track everything or change nothing. If you don't measure it, it lies to you. Your memory lies. Your feelings lie. Your excuses lie. Numbers don't. Numbers don't negotiate. Say it again. Numbers don't negotiate. Most people think they're consistent. They feel like they're trying. They believe they're improving. But belief without measurement is self-deception. That's the key. Progress doesn't care how you feel. It responds to what you repeat. And repetition only becomes real when it's tracked. You have a choice. Float through this challenge, hoping effort is enough, or anchor your actions in numbers and force the truth to show up. Now listen carefully. Tracking is not about control. It's about clarity. Clarity removes emotion. Emotion clouds judgment. And most people fail because they negotiate with themselves daily. I'll do it later. I'll make it up tomorrow. I was tired. Numbers don't accept excuses. That's why people avoid tracking. Because tracking exposes patterns. Patterns expose weakness. It's not about laziness. It's about discipline. Let's break the illusion. You don't need motivation to know whether you showed up. You need proof. Proof lives in numbers. Now let's talk psychology. The human brain edits reality to protect ego. Missed a workout? You remember the one you did. Skipped focus time? You remember how busy you felt. This is not dishonesty. It's survival instinct. But survival thinking kills transformation. Tracking interrupts self-deception. It forces accountability. Without emotion, numbers don't shame you. They show you. That's the key. Now hear this. Tracking is not punishment. It's feedback. Feedback creates adjustment. Adjustment creates results. Without feedback, you repeat the same mistakes. With confidence. Now let's make this practical. What must you stop doing? You must stop keeping it in your head. Memory is unreliable. You must stop trusting feelings as evidence of effort. Feeling busy is not proof. You must stop vague goals with vague outcomes. What must you start doing? You start logging. Daily. Simple. Visible. Unavoidable. This gets done. Period. Now let's break it down. First system. Days completed. This is binary. Did you follow the plan today? Yes or no? No explanations. No stories. A check or an X. That's it. This builds streak awareness. Streaks create momentum. Momentum builds identity. This is how I live now. Second system. Habit tracking. List your non-negotiables. Movement. Focus blocks. Learning time. Sleep window. You don't track effort. You track completion. Did it happen? Yes or no? Numbers don't negotiate. Third system. Focus hours logged. Not time at your desk. Not time working. Time in distraction-free focus. One task. One block. Full attention. You log the block. After it's complete. Not before. No future promises. Only completed work counts. That's the key. Now let's talk resistance. Tracking feels small. Boring. Almost childish. But discipline lives in boring systems. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Tracking turns discipline into something visible. You can't argue with a page full of X's. Now let's talk about the lie. People say, I don't want to obsess over numbers. Translation, I don't want to face the truth. Numbers don't create obsession. They create honesty. Obsession comes from confusion. Clarity brings calm. That's the key. Now let's address fear. What if the numbers are bad? Bad numbers mean you found the problem. Ignoring numbers doesn't fix them. It hides them. You don't need their permission to see the truth about your life. Now let's talk about emotional neutrality. Tracking must be emotionless. No celebration. No punishment. Just data. Data tells you what to adjust. Miss 3 days of focus? Don't spiral. Adjust environment. Adjust schedule. Missed workouts? Adjust timing. Adjust expectations. Tracking turns failure into information. That's discipline. Now listen closely. Motivation asks, how do I feel today? Discipline asks, what do the numbers say? That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Professionals trust data. Now let's connect this to the 90-day window. 90 days is long enough to generate real data. Patterns emerge. You'll see exactly where you break. Weekends, evenings, mornings. No guessing. Numbers don't negotiate. Now here's the rule. Never miss 2 days in a row. 1 miss is life. 2 misses is a pattern. Tracking shows you the line before you cross it. That's the key. Now let's talk about identity again. When you track daily, you send a message to yourself. I take this seriously. Serious people measure. Casual people hope. You have a choice. Hope for change, or engineer it. Now let's remove complexity. This does not require apps, or dashboards, or perfection. Paper works. Notes work. Simple tables work. The system must be easy, or you'll quit. If it takes more than 2 minutes, simplify it. Tracking must support discipline, not become a distraction. Now listen carefully. You don't rise to ambition. You sink to what you track. What you measure improves, because attention follows measurement. That's human nature. That's the key. Now let's give you a daily ritual. End of day. 2 minutes. Open your tracker. Mark the day. No judgment. Close it. That's it. This builds self-respect. Because self-respect comes from keeping promises to yourself. Tracking exposes broken promises and gives you the chance to repair them. Now let's go deeper. Why does this work? Because the brain hates inconsistency. Seeing gaps creates internal pressure. Pressure without emotion. That's powerful. Much more powerful than hype. Now let's address excuses. I forgot. Then tracking is your first habit. I was busy. Then busyness is the problem. I'll start next week. That's avoidance. You have a choice. Start imperfectly today, or stay comfortable forever. Now let's lock this in. You cannot manage what you do not measure. You cannot improve what you refuse to face. Tracking turns effort into evidence. Evidence builds confidence. Not fake confidence. Real confidence. Earned confidence. That's the key. Now prepare for the next level. Because once you track, another truth appears. Some things drain you. Some things fuel you. Not all effort is equal. The next chapter will teach you how to protect your energy like a professional. You've removed emotion. You've faced the numbers. Now it's time to learn when to push and when to stop. Because discipline is not constant force. It's intelligent control. You've learned to measure. Now you'll learn to recover. Chapter 10. Miss once, never twice. You will fail. Not maybe. Not possibly. You will. You'll miss a workout. You'll break focus. You'll waste a day. That's not the problem. Quitting is the problem. And quitting almost never happens in one dramatic moment. It happens quietly, after a miss, then another. That's the key. The real discipline is not perfection. It's recovery. Say this clearly. You don't restart. You resume. Say it again. You don't restart. You resume. Most people fail the 90-day challenge. Not because they lack discipline, but because they panic after a mistake. They miss once and decide the run is ruined. That's emotional thinking. That's weakness. It's not about the miss. It's about discipline. You have a choice. Respond like an amateur, or recover like a professional. Now listen carefully. Perfection is fragile. Consistency is resilient. Perfection breaks once and collapses. Consistency bends and keeps going. You are not building a flawless streak. You are building a system that survives bad days. That's the key. Now let's talk psychology. The human brain loves clean slates. Monday. Next month. Day 1. This is called the restart fantasy. It feels powerful. It feels hopeful. And it's a trap. Because life does not pause while you wait to feel ready again. Every restart delays momentum. Resuming preserves it. You don't need their permission to continue imperfectly. Now let's expose the real danger. Missing once creates discomfort. That discomfort triggers shame. Shame whispers, "You failed." Then comes avoidance. And avoidance turns one miss into 10. That's how habits die. Not from failure. From delayed recovery. Numbers don't negotiate. And neither does time. That's the key. Now let's get practical. What must you stop doing? You must stop turning mistakes into identity. You are not lazy because you missed a workout. You are not unfocused because you had a bad session. You are human. Stop catastrophizing. You must stop starting over. There is no starting over. There is only continuing. What must you start doing? You start applying the rule. Miss once. Never twice. This is non-negotiable. This gets done. Period. Miss a workout? The next scheduled workout happens. No matter what. No compensation workouts. No punishment. Just resume. Miss a focus block? The next block is protected harder. Phone farther away. Door closed. Timer set. Miss a day of tracking? You log the miss and move on. No emotional spiral. That's discipline. Now let's walk through examples. You planned to train Monday. You didn't. Life happened. Energy dipped. But Tuesday is not optional now. Tuesday is locked. No negotiation. You don't double the workout. You don't apologize. You resume. That's the key. Another example. You planned 2 focus blocks. You wasted the first scrolling. The amateur response. This day is ruined. The disciplined response. Block 2 is protected. You cut the noise. You execute. 1 clean block salvages the day. Boring done daily beats exciting done rarely. Now let's address a dangerous lie. People say, if I break the streak, I lose motivation. That's backwards. Streak obsession creates fragility. Recovery discipline creates strength. Strong people don't need perfect streaks. They need fast correction. That's the key. Now let's talk about identity. The identity you're building is simple. I am someone who returns. Not someone who never falls. Someone who stands back up immediately. This is how I live now. This identity survives stress, illness, chaos. Because life is not controlled. But response is. You have a choice. Let failure define you. Or let recovery train you. Now let's get sharper. Why never twice? Because 2 misses create a story. A story becomes a belief. I always quit. I can't stay consistent. Never twice breaks the story before it forms. That's psychology. That's discipline. Now listen closely. Recovery speed is the true measure of discipline. Not intensity. Not motivation. But how fast do you return to the plan? That's the question. Now let's remove excuses. I was tired. So resume. I was busy. So resume. I wasn't feeling it. Feelings are optional. Actions are mandatory. You don't need their permission to act without motivation. Now let's talk about self-respect. Every time you resume immediately, you reinforce trust with yourself. Trust compounds. Confidence grows. Not loud confidence. Quiet certainty. The kind that doesn't need hype. That's the key. Now here's an important distinction. There is a difference between rest and avoidance. Rest is planned. Avoidance is emotional. Rest supports discipline. Avoidance erodes it. Miss once because of rest? Miss twice because of avoidance? Unacceptable. You must tell the difference. That's maturity. Now let's give you a recovery protocol. Simple. Immediate. Step 1. Acknowledge the miss. No excuses. No stories. Just facts. Step 2. Lock the next action. Put it on the schedule. Make it specific. Step 3. Reduce friction. Remove distractions. Prepare environment. Step 4. Execute. No emotion. This protocol works for everything. Fitness. Study. Focus. That's the key. Now let's address the long game. Over 90 days, you will miss days. If you miss once a week, but never twice, you still win. That's consistency. Perfection would demand 0 misses. Discipline demands 0 quitting. You have a choice. Chase perfection and burn out, or practice recovery and finish strong. Now let's lock this into the challenge. From today forward, you adopt one rule. No matter what happens, I never miss twice. Say it. I never miss twice. This rule simplifies everything. No analysis. No debate. Just action. That's discipline. Now let's zoom out. Why does this matter? Because life will test you. Illness. Stress. Unexpected problems. If your system collapses after one disruption, it's weak. Strong systems absorb shock. Recovery is strength. Now listen carefully. The people you admire are not flawless. They are fast. Fast to recover. Fast to adjust. Fast to return. That's why they last. Now prepare for the final shift. Because once you master recovery, you face the hardest truth. Most of your limits are internal conversations. Self-talk. Noise. The final level of discipline is controlling the voice in your head. You've learned to act without motivation, to build systems, to track, to recover. Now it's time to master silence. Because silence is where focus, clarity, and power live. You've learned not to quit. Now you must learn not to listen to the wrong voice. You've conquered failure. Now it's time to conquer the noise inside. Chapter 11. Identity is built by repetition, not belief. You are not who you think you are. You are what you repeatedly do. Not what you intend. Not what you believe. Not what you promise yourself late at night. What you do. Again and again. That's the key. Most people are stuck because they're trying to believe their way into change. They say, I need confidence. I need motivation. I need to feel like a disciplined person. But you need repetition. Identity is not formed in your mind. It's forged in behavior. You don't think your way into a new life. You act your way into one. Say this clearly. I do this because this is who I am now. Say it again. I do this because this is who I am now. Now listen carefully. Belief follows action, not the other way around. Waiting to feel like the kind of person who shows up daily is how people stay stuck for years. You have a choice. Wait for belief or build identity through action. Now let's talk psychology. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It watches what you do and draws conclusions. Skip workouts repeatedly? Your brain concludes, this is who we are. Avoid hard work repeatedly? Your brain concludes, this is what we do. Finish tasks repeatedly? Your brain updates the identity. No affirmations required. That's the key. Identity is evidence-based. Your mind believes what your actions prove. Now let's expose the trap. People say, I'm just not disciplined. That's not an identity. That's a habit history. Change the history, and the identity follows. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. Now let's make this practical. What must you stop doing? You must stop labeling yourself based on past behavior. I'm lazy. I'm inconsistent. I'm bad at finishing. Those are descriptions of old patterns, not permanent traits. You must stop waiting to feel like the new version of you. Feelings lag behind behavior. What must you start doing? You start acting like the person you want to become. Before belief, before confidence, before comfort. This gets done. Period. Now let's look at real shifts. The procrastinator doesn't stop procrastinating by thinking differently. They finish small things daily. One task, completed. Another day, another finish. Soon the identity changes. I'm someone who finishes. That's the key. The consumer doesn't stop consuming by hating consumption. They start building. One page written, one idea executed, one output created. Repetition rewires identity. I build. That's what I do. Say it. I do this because this is who I am now. Now let's talk about discomfort. Early actions feel fake. You feel like an imposter. But that means you're early in the process. Identity always lags behind behavior. If it feels awkward, you're doing it right. Most people quit here because they expect instant alignment. But alignment comes later, through repetition. Now let's connect this to discipline. Discipline is not forcing yourself forever. Discipline is training identity until behavior becomes automatic. At first, it's effort. Later, it's normal. That's the key. Now let's talk about standards again. Standards are identity in action. I don't skip workouts. I don't break focus blocks. I don't miss twice. These are not goals. They're rules. Rules shape behavior. Behavior shapes identity. You have a choice. Live by rules, or live by moods. Moods are unstable. Rules are reliable. Now let's address the voice in your head. It will say, this isn't you. Ignore it. That voice is based on past data. You're creating new data now. You don't need their permission to outgrow your old identity. Now let's talk about time. Identity doesn't change overnight. It changes through volume. Enough reps. Enough days. Enough proof. That's why the 90-day window matters. 90 days of repeated action creates undeniable evidence. Your brain can't argue with consistency. Numbers don't negotiate, and neither does identity. Now let's give you a simple identity lock. After every disciplined action, say one sentence internally. I do this because this is who I am now. Not loud, not emotional, matter of fact. This links action to identity. Over time, the sentence becomes unnecessary. The behavior sticks. Now let's address comparison. You will see others who seem more confident, more advanced. Ignore them. Identity is personal. You only need to outperform your old self. Repetition beats comparison. Now let's talk about relapse fear. What if I go back to my old ways? You might. That's why recovery discipline matters. Identity is not broken by one miss. It's broken by repeated contradiction. Miss once. Resume. Never twice. That protects identity. That's the key. Now listen closely. You don't become disciplined and then act disciplined. You act disciplined until it becomes who you are. This is the order. Reverse it, and you wait forever. You have a choice. Wait for permission from your feelings, or lead with action. Now let's talk about pride. Real pride is quiet. It comes from keeping promises. When no one is watching, repetition builds private pride. Private pride builds self-respect. Self-respect sustains discipline. That's the loop. Now let's remove the myth. You are not finding yourself. You are building yourself. One action at a time. Most people never choose consciously who they become. They drift. You are not drifting. You are choosing. That's the key. Now let's lock this chapter. From this point forward, you stop asking, do I feel like it? What does someone like me do? And then you do that. No drama. No negotiation. You do it because this is who you are now. Say it one last time. I do this because this is who I am now. Now prepare for the final chapter. Because once identity is set, there's one last test. Pressure. Life after the challenge ends. The final chapter will teach you how to carry this discipline forward. Without burnout, without hype, without collapsing. You've built the identity. Now you must protect it long term. You've changed who you are. Now it's time to decide who you will never be again. Chapter 12, Day 91. The person you can't go back from. Day 91 is not a victory lap. It's a line you crossed. And once crossed, you don't get to pretend you're the same person anymore. Listen carefully. The challenge didn't end yesterday. It locked in. For 90 days, you followed instructions. You showed up when you didn't feel like it. You did the work when motivation was gone. You kept going when nobody was watching. That wasn't a phase. That was training. And now, on day 91, something changes. Not your schedule. Not your habits. Your identity. This is not a phase. This is the standard. Most people sabotage themselves right here. They think discipline has an off switch. They think consistency was temporary. They think they can relax now. That's how people erase progress. That's how they go back. You don't, because you have a choice. And this choice matters more than all the others combined. You either treat the last 90 days as a project you completed, or you treat them as proof of who you are now. That's the key. You don't graduate from discipline. You become it. Let's get something straight. You are not starting over today. You are not trying to stay motivated. You are not negotiating with your weaker self. You already won that argument. The person who quits early? That person doesn't live here anymore. The person who waits to feel ready? That person lost authority. The person who needs permission, validation, or applause. You don't need their permission. You showed yourself what you do when it's hard. You showed yourself what you do when no one is cheering. You showed yourself what you do when comfort is not an option. And now you cannot unsee that. This is the psychological point of no return. Once behavior proves identity, belief becomes irrelevant. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. Confidence comes and goes. Discipline stays. From this point forward, your brain will test you. Not with chaos. With comfort. It will whisper, you've earned a break. It will suggest, just today doesn't matter. It will try to make inconsistency sound reasonable. That's the trap. Because the habits that built you can also erase you if you stop respecting them. So here's what you stop doing now. You stop tracking days like they're a countdown. You stop measuring effort against some imaginary finish line. You stop asking, do I still have to do this? You already answered that question. You start doing something different. You start acting as if this is permanent. Because it is. This is not a challenge anymore. This is your baseline. You wake up and execute, not because it's day 12 or day 47 or day 91, but because this is who you are. I do this because this is who I am now. Say it again. I do this because this is who I am now. That sentence matters. Not as affirmation, as instruction. Identity is not what you claim. Identity is what you repeat. Every workout you complete without debate. Every focused hour you protect without excuse. Every promise you keep without drama. Each one is a vote. And the votes are already in. You are not building momentum anymore. Momentum has built you. Now let's talk about compounding. Because this is where most people underestimate what comes next. The first 30 days were friction. The second 30 days were resistance. The third 30 days were alignment. Now comes acceleration. Discipline compounds quietly, not in bursts, in standards. When your identity is fixed, decisions get faster. There's no argument. There's no delay. There's no mental tax. You don't ask, should I? You act. That's power. A procrastinator becomes a finisher not by believing harder, but by finishing again and again until stopping feels unnatural. A consumer becomes a builder not by inspiration, but by producing daily until creating feels normal. It's not about talent. It's not about passion. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. That's the key. Now understand this. Life will still happen. Bad days will show up. Energy will dip. Focus will wobble. But you already trained for that. You don't spiral anymore. You adjust. You don't quit anymore. You resume. You don't dramatize failure. You correct it. You have a choice every single day. Not between easy and hard. Between standard and excuse. And excuses don't sound ridiculous anymore. They sound familiar. That's why they're dangerous. You don't negotiate with familiarity. You override it. Here's the rule from day 91 forward. No 0 days. Ever. Not perfection. Presence. You show up even when it's ugly. Especially when it's ugly. Because discipline isn't proven on your best days. It's revealed on the average ones. This is not about intensity. It's about inevitability. The work happens because it happens. Because you happen. And here's the truth most people never face. Once you've lived at this standard, going back hurts more than staying disciplined. Comfort becomes uncomfortable. Laziness becomes loud. Inconsistency becomes obvious. That's growth. That's the person you can't go back from. You don't need their permission to live like this. You don't need applause to maintain it. You don't need motivation to continue it. You already installed the system. So when someone asks you how long you're going to keep this up, you don't answer with a date. You answer with certainty. This is not a phase. This is the standard. Say it again. This is not a phase. This is the standard. And standards don't expire. They define. Now lock this in. Day 91 is not the end of the challenge. It's the end of the old identity. You've proven what happens when discipline leads. You've felt the compound effect of showing up. You've seen what consistency does to confidence, clarity, and self-respect. You don't chase outcomes anymore. Outcomes chase standards. That's the shift. And it changes everything. You've built something permanent. Not because you believed, but because you repeated. That's the lesson. That's the line you crossed. You are no longer becoming this person. You are maintaining them. And maintenance is easier than transformation. When identity is fixed, Take a breath. Stand still for a moment. This is who you are now. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to defend it. You just live it. You have a choice. And now, that choice is automatic. You finished the challenge. But the work continues. Because standards don't fade. They compound. And now, it's time to understand how to protect this identity for life. You've become the person you can't go back from. Now it's time to learn how to guard that standard. Chapter 13: The Standard Never Drops. The danger is not failure. The danger is lowering the bar. Most people don't lose because they can't work hard. They lose because they renegotiate the standard the moment life gets uncomfortable. Listen carefully. Your progress didn't come from intensity. It came from consistency. And consistency only survives when the standard stays fixed. That's the key. The moment you say, just this once. The moment you say, I'll make it up later. The moment you say, this week doesn't count. You are not being flexible. You are being sloppy. And sloppy standards always decay. You have a choice. Every single day. You can live by a standard. Or you can live by excuses. There is no third option. Here's the truth most people avoid. Life will never stabilize enough to protect your discipline for you. There will always be noise. There will always be pressure. There will always be reasons to ease off. That's not bad luck. That's reality. And reality doesn't care how long you work to build momentum. It only responds to what you do next. The standard never drops. Not on bad days. Not on tired days. Not on emotional days. Especially not on emotional days. Because emotion is the most common excuse for regression. I didn't feel right. I wasn't in the mood. I needed space. That's not self-care. That's self-sabotage wearing soft language. It's not about emotions. It's about discipline. That's the key. Let's break this down psychologically. Your brain is efficient. It looks for shortcuts. It wants relief. When you raise your standard, your brain resists at first. But once the standard becomes normal, the brain adapts. Until you drop it. Then something dangerous happens. The brain remembers the lower version as an option. And once an option exists, it gets reused. That's why people don't collapse all at once. They slide. They miss once. Then twice. Then they explain it. Then they normalize it. And eventually, they're back where they started, confused about how it happened. It didn't happen suddenly. It happened gradually, through lowered standards. So here's what you stop doing immediately. You stop adjusting the rules based on mood. You stop letting fatigue vote. You stop treating discipline like something you earn and lose. Discipline is not a reward. It's a requirement. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. And standards only work when they are non-negotiable. You don't need their permission to live like this. You don't need understanding. You don't need approval. You already decided who you are. Now you defend it. That means some days will feel boring. Some days will feel heavy. Some days will feel pointless. But that means you're not chasing dopamine anymore. You're operating from principle. That's growth. Here's what you start doing instead. You decide once. Then you execute repeatedly. No daily debates. No morning negotiations. No emotional math. You wake up. You do the work. You move forward. Not because you feel strong, but because the standard says so. Say it out loud. This is the standard. This is the standard. That sentence is not motivation. It's a boundary. Boundaries protect progress. When someone asks how you stay consistent, you don't explain your routine. You explain your rule. I don't lower the standard. That's it. Now let's talk about pressure, because pressure is coming. When responsibility increases, standards are tested. More work, more people, more expectations. This is where most people break. They think success gives them permission to relax. It doesn't. Success demands a higher level of protection. The higher you go, the more expensive mistakes become. The more visible inconsistency becomes. The faster sloppiness gets punished. That's why professionals don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. And systems only work when the standard never drops. You have a choice. You can be impressive in short bursts. Or you can be reliable for decades. Reliability wins. Every time. Let's make this practical. When you don't feel like training, you train lighter, but you train. When focus is low, you shorten the session, but you show up. When energy dips, you slow the pace, but you don't stop. That's discipline. Not all or nothing. All or something. You don't break the chain. You protect it. Because the chain is your identity now. And identity doesn't get days off. It's not about perfection. It's about continuity. That's the key. Now understand this. Holding the standard will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you convenience. It will cost you certain relationships. Some people will feel judged by your consistency. Others will feel exposed by your restraint. That's not your problem. You're not here to make people comfortable. You're here to make yourself dependable. Dependable to your future. Dependable to your word. Dependable to the person you decided to become. You don't need their permission. When you feel the urge to lower the bar, pause. Not to think. To remember. Remember who you were before the standard. Remember the frustration. Remember the inconsistency. Remember the promises you broke to yourself. Then look at who you are now. Calmer, clearer, more controlled. That didn't happen by accident. It happened because you stopped letting circumstances decide for you. You decided. And once decided, you don't revisit it. Revisiting decisions is how discipline erodes. So here's the rule going forward. The standard stays the same. Only the strategy adjusts. The rule stays fixed. The execution adapts. That's maturity. That's strength. That's how discipline replaces weakness permanently. You have a choice. Lower the standard and explain yourself later. Or hold the standard and let results speak. Results are quieter, but they're permanent. That's the key. This chapter is not about pushing harder. It's about refusing to slide backward. It's about protecting what you built when no one is watching anymore. Because that's the real test. Anyone can perform when they're excited. Very few can remain consistent when it's normal. Normal is where standards matter most. And now you know. The standard never drops. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not when it's inconvenient. This is who you are now. You've crossed the line. You've installed the system. You've proven the discipline. All that's left is guarding it. You don't need motivation. You don't need permission. You don't need reminders. You have a choice. And you already know what you choose. You've learned how discipline is built. Now it's time to learn how discipline is protected for life. Chapter 14. Guarding the identity you built. The moment you define who you are, the real challenge begins. Not building the identity. Not proving it once. But protecting it every single day. This is where most people fail. They work tirelessly to reshape themselves. They push through routines, through discipline, through discomfort. They feel the transformation. They taste progress. And then, slowly, quietly, they let it slip. It doesn't happen in a dramatic collapse. It happens in small, unnoticed compromises. A skipped workout here. A lowered standard there. A rationalization, I'll start again tomorrow. This chapter is about stopping that. Forever. You have a choice. Every morning, every decision, Every action either defends your identity or erodes it. There is no neutral ground. Let's start with the psychology. When you first build a new identity, your brain is skeptical. Your old self is loud. It whispers, "You're not really this person." It tests you. It invites shortcuts. It seduces you back into comfort. Comfort is your enemy now. Comfort is the slow thief of discipline. Comfort will make you believe you've earned a day off. Comfort will convince you that bending rules once is harmless. It's not harmless. It's a crack. And cracks widen. Guarding identity is about preemptive defense. It's about systems, rituals, and boundaries so rigid that temptation has nowhere to take root. Here's what you stop doing immediately. Stop arguing with yourself over choices that are already decided. Stop believing that good intentions replace consistent action. Stop rationalizing exceptions. You have a choice. Not negotiating the standard is a daily decision. It's the difference between someone who looks disciplined and someone who actually is disciplined. Now let's talk about what you start doing. 1. Protect your morning rituals. The first hour of your day sets the tone for identity defense. It's non-negotiable. It's sacred. Wake up at the same time every day. Hydrate. Plan your blocks. You don't debate this. You don't negotiate this. It happens because your identity demands it. Athletes, CEOs, and elite performers do not wait for motivation. They execute the routine because deviation is a signal that identity is slipping. 2. Guard your energy and attention. Identity is defended in your decisions about who and what you engage with. If you feed your mind garbage, you weaken your will. If you chase trivial distractions, you dilute focus. That means your environment must match your ambition. Phone notifications off. Social media strictly limited. People who drain energy? Set boundaries. You don't need permission to protect your focus. You don't need approval to cut the noise. You have a choice. And this is where discipline becomes permanent. 3. Track your standards relentlessly. Identity cannot survive abstraction. You must make it measurable. Every habit, every non-negotiable, every action aligned with your new self. Write it down. Check it. Review it daily. Numbers don't negotiate. They don't lie. They show you when your identity is defended and when it's at risk. This is not about perfection. It's about continuity. Even if you miss, you resume immediately. You don't restart. You don't explain. You execute. 4. Protect your inner circle. The people around you define what's normal. If you want to defend the identity you built, your circle must reinforce it. Surround yourself with doers, not talkers. With disciplined people, not permissive people. With those who hold themselves accountable. You don't argue this. You adapt. You protect yourself from influence that weakens your standard. 5. Build an identity-based decision framework. Every choice now is filtered through identity. Ask, does this action defend the person I've become? If yes, execute. If no, eliminate. It's that simple. This is not theory. This is practical. And it's repeatable. Now, let's reinforce this truth. The standard never drops. Not when convenient. Not when comfortable. Not when tired. When you defend identity, it becomes automatic. Your actions, thoughts, and choices align naturally. Consistency is no longer an effort. It's a reflection. It's who you are. Here's a real-world example. Consider a disciplined athlete. They don't stop training because of mood swings. They don't allow a bad night of sleep to cancel progress. They execute every day because the identity of "I am a competitor" is stronger than temporary discomfort. This principle applies to learning, entrepreneurship, health, and every skill you seek to master. The identity is the shield. Discipline is the armor. The standard never drops. Now let's address the most common trap, arrogance. After 60, 70, 80 days of perfect execution, some think they're immune. They believe identity is permanent because they feel transformed. It isn't. Identity is defended, not assumed. Every day without action is a day of erosion. Every compromise is a step back. Remember the phrase, "You do this because this is who you are now." Repeat it, own it, protect it. No excuses. No rationalizations. No compromise. Let's go deeper into the mechanics of defense. Rituals stabilize the day. Boundaries stabilize your attention. Accountability stabilizes your standards. Measurement stabilizes reality. Circle stabilizes behavior. Do all of these consistently, and the identity becomes unbreakable. Even under pressure. Even under fatigue. Even when life gets messy. Because identity is no longer external. It's internal. It's automatic. It's non-negotiable. Now, the final principle. You must defend your identity publicly and privately. Internally in your choices. Externally in your actions. Speak less about what you're doing. Execute more. Let your discipline be evident. Let your results communicate who you are. This is how the identity becomes impermeable. You've learned the truth of discipline. You've seen how standards create permanence. Now you learn how to lock it in. The standard never drops. The routine never negotiates. The work never stops. Every action is a declaration. Every decision is a defense. Every day is a battle you do not lose. You have a choice. To slide back, to rationalize, to negotiate, or to hold the line, defend the identity, and make it permanent. You already know what you choose. The identity you built is yours. Not temporary. Not accidental. Not negotiable. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. You don't need motivation. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You have a choice. And the choice is clear. This is who you are now. This is what you defend. This is the person who will never settle. This is the standard that never drops. You've conquered hesitation. You've mastered routine. You've installed discipline. Now it's time to live it. Chapter 15, Day 91. The person you can't go back from. Day 91. 3 months of relentless execution. 90 days of decisions made without compromise. 90 days of habits enforced, rituals mastered, and standards protected. This is the day your old self finally loses its grip. Not because it was weak before. Not because you were extraordinary at the start. But because you refused to negotiate. Because you refused to rationalize. Because you chose action over feeling. You have a choice. Every day for 90 days, you made the hard choice. Now, the choice is baked into who you are. You can't go back. That is the power of identity built by repetition. Think about it. 3 months ago, you were tentative, hesitant, waiting for motivation to strike. Now, motivation doesn't matter. You execute. Because this is who you are. It's no longer a practice. It's your baseline. Here's the truth. Humans underestimate compounding action. 1 day is nothing. 2 days is barely noticed. A week feels manageable. A month begins to show. 3 months creates a transformation you can't unsee. 3 months defines you. This is the essence of Day 91. You've built an identity. An identity that commands action, not permission. An identity that doesn't negotiate, rationalize, or compromise. An identity that refuses to revert. Now, let's be brutally honest. This isn't just about discipline. It's about elimination. You've eliminated excuses. You've eliminated rationalizations. You've eliminated weakness disguised as me time or recovery. That doesn't mean you are unbreakable. It means you are uncompromising. You have a framework now. You have the systems. You have the rituals. And here's the critical part. Your environment is aligned. Your standards are locked. Your identity is non-negotiable. This is the person you can't go back from. Let's analyze the mechanics. 1. Habits are no longer optional. For 90 days, you have executed your non-negotiables. Daily movement, focused work, learning, sleep discipline. They're no longer tasks. They are part of your identity. Try skipping them now. You will feel it. Not because of guilt. Not because of shame. Because your body and mind are wired to execute. Consistency is automatic. That is the power of compounding discipline. 2. The mind follows identity. Before, you acted according to motivation or circumstance. Now, you act according to who you are. You don't debate. You don't negotiate. You execute because that is your baseline. I don't skip training. That's who I am. I don't compromise focus. That's who I am. I don't allow distractions to derail me. That's who I am. This repetition builds an internal compass so strong it cannot be overridden by fatigue, temptation, or external chaos. 3. The standard is non-negotiable. Day 91 is the proof. Your standards are no longer a plan. They are your identity. This is the difference between someone who wants change and someone who is changed. Excuses no longer work. Rationalizations no longer stick. Failures are rare, and when they occur, recovery is instant. You don't restart. You resume. That phrase is no longer advice. It's embedded in your decision-making. Let's get practical. Review your non-negotiables daily. Track progress without exception. Protect your environment. Defend your identity against influence. Repetition, repetition, repetition. If you maintain this for 91 days, the baseline shifts. Your comfort zone moves. Your old habits fade. Your identity is permanent. Now, let's confront the biggest challenge of day 91, arrogance and complacency. You may look at your transformation and think, I've arrived. You haven't. Transformation is not a milestone. It's a continuous state. You've built permanence, but it requires vigilance. Identity doesn't expire. It only erodes when defended poorly. That means you continue to execute, continue to protect, continue to reinforce. Every action now is either aligned with the person you've become, or it is a compromise that erodes it. Day 91 is proof that the choice to defend identity daily compounds into an irreversible transformation. Real-world example. Consider an entrepreneur who builds a new discipline in business. Consistent work blocks, learning, execution. For the first month, they struggle. Second month, habits solidify. By day 91, the rhythm is automatic. They no longer need motivation. Opportunities are seized, deadlines met, creativity executed, not because they try, but because this is who they are. The same applies to fitness, education, or any skill. The body, the mind, and the environment have merged with the discipline you've created. The result, you cannot go back. Here's the final secret of day 91. The person you are today is your new baseline. All shortcuts are gone. All excuses are irrelevant. All weaknesses are subordinated to the identity you've built. This is the standard that never drops. Repetition locks identity. Discipline locks action. Habits lock permanence. That is the power of a 90-day challenge completed fully. Day 91 is not the end. It's the beginning of living as someone you cannot compromise into being less than. Here's what you must internalize. This is not a phase. This is the standard. You do this because this is who you are now. You have a choice, and the choice is already made. Your old self, the self that hesitated, procrastinated, or compromised, no longer has permission to exist. You've leveled up beyond it, and it's permanent. Every day after this, decisions are faster. Standards are automatic. Execution is non-negotiable. This is the person you can't go back from. And here's the challenge. Do not treat day 91 as a reward. Do not celebrate lazily. Do not let ego replace execution. Instead, use it as proof. Proof that discipline works. Proof that identity compounds. Proof that choices define life, and when made consistently, they create permanence. You have built a baseline. A person who acts regardless of mood, motivation, or circumstance. A person who protects their standards relentlessly. A person who refuses to compromise. This is the victory of day 91. Not in celebration, not in ego, but in absolute, unwavering action. Remember, the standard never drops. The person you are now is non-negotiable. You have a choice, and you choose identity every single day. The transformation is complete. The habits are permanent. The rituals are automatic. The discipline is baked into who you are. You cannot go back, and you will never want to. This is the power of the 90-day challenge. This is the lesson of action over feeling. This is the reality of identity built by repetition. You've done the work. You've defended your standards. You've installed permanence. Day 91 is yours. And from this day forward, life adjusts to the person you've become. The challenge doesn't end. It begins. Live it relentlessly. Execute it without compromise. Protect it without hesitation. Because the person you are now cannot go back. This is not theory. This is practice. This is reality. And that is your victory. 90 days ago, you were waiting. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for the right moment. Now you know the truth. Discipline doesn't wait. Structure doesn't care how you feel. And consistency is the only real shortcut. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel inspired. You need to follow the rules you set every day. For the next 90 days, show up. Do the boring work. Track it. Repeat it. Protect it. And when day 91 arrives, you will not ask who you want to become. You will already be that person. The challenge is simple. Start today. Do not negotiate. And do not stop.